Namaste. Welcome to the beginning of another live Saṅgha. I'm grateful to be here. I trust you are feeling as well as you can be in this moment. If there's anything I can do to hold more space for you, please let me know. I hope to be your humble host, and if I'm not, you can hold me accountable to that. I'd love to know how you're feeling. Whatever you're going through, your feelings are always a valid expression of that. And if it's anything challenging, remember that this too shall pass. Hello, dear Melinda. Giuliano. Hello. Namaste, Sky Guardian. Hello, Kevin. Spiritual Legacy. Namaskaram, dear Ragnahildur. You are fast today. Sometimes it takes a while for the Sanghis to pile in. Welcome. I'm doing well, thank you, Melinda. How are you feeling? And hello, Gina. Thank you for your likes. Hello, dear Amy. Welcome, Void and Kate. I'd love to set the intention for the space as being one where we can come together as fellow students of life to uplift each other, relate in one another's experiences, and share positive sentiments. You are well, Melinda? Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Yes, hello, Void. Hello, dear Gina. Thank you, Ragnahildur, for sharing the live. Welcome, Rhiannon Clark. Namaste, dear Tamia. I'd also like to begin with an invocation, which is a Sanskrit prayer from the Katha and Taittiriya Upanishad, ancient scriptures. It's one of the famous Shanti mantras, peace mantras. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Upanaktu Sahaviryam Karva Vahai Tejasvina Vadhitamastu Ma Vidvisha Vahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. May the Divine protect us both together. May the Divine nourish us both together. May our studies be vigorous and effective, and may we not mutually dispute or hate any. Om. May there be peace in us. May there be peace in our environment, and may there be peace in the forces that act on us. Hello, dear Reina Priya. Welcome, Doris. Happy to have people from all walks of life and spiritual traditions. Greetings, Assad. Hello, dear Ayan. You're going live yourself to read the Ramayana. Wish you well. Oh, absolutely. You'll be there for a while. If you plan on reading it in one sitting. But how wonderful. Well, I love that. If anyone wants to listen to one of the greatest epics composed in ancient India, do check out Ayan's live stream then. Dearest X-Ray, you're wondering if we can make one round of chants around the Rudraksha. Actually, we will at the end of this live stream. Yeah, I do have one planned for you. Radhe Radhe, dearest Magdalene Priya. Oh, how beautiful, Bubbles. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong somewhere you feel free. And you've been reading the Ramayana every night, just 5 sargas. Or you'll have to remind me how many verses is in a sarga. Good evening, dear Queen Silver Foxy. Hola, dear Mariham. Thank you, dear Giuliano, for the heart me that you had sent a minute ago. Hari Om Tat Sat. And dear Gina, thank you for your heart me and rose. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. And Jason, thank you for your heart me and Quintet of Friendship necklaces. Om Mani Padme Hum. At least like 5 verses, shares Ayan. They're like mini chapters, I see. Thank you. He'll be added the whole yuga at that pace, shares Bubbles. That's hilarious. X-Ray, you're wondering if it's not possible to do the Rudraksha Japa in a moment because you're not sure if you'll be able to stay around to the end of the live. We can do a couple repetitions for you. I do have a structure for this live stream, but I'll make a small exception. We can chant Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya a couple times together. Not 108 times, but we'll do 10 times. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. 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 Thank you, dear Edmo, for the heart me you had sent. Jaya Sita Ram. And Juliana, thank you for your rose, your Gigi, your ice cream cone, and TikTok. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hello, dear Lissa. You crashed out today. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What does crashing out mean? You'll have to remind me. I know it's used in different contexts. I hope you're alright. Hello, dear Sarah. You're very welcome, X-Ray. I'm sorry I wasn't able to do a full round at the start of our live stream. Good morning, dear Lone Wolf. Dear Rihanna, and you're wondering if I understand the math on my top. Do I understand the math on my... Do you know who you're speaking to? Of course. It's a pun. It's a physics pun, sort of. It says, may the vector of force be equal to mass times the derivative of the vector of velocity with respect to time be with you. Thank you, X-Ray, for your rose. And thank you, dear Ayan, for the rose you had sent as well. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. You're so bad at math, shares Tamiya. That makes 2 of us. Yeah. Well, dear Saṅgha, I'm happy to have you here. Let's continue where we left off, reading The Journey Home, an autobiography by an American Swami. Currently, our author is in Afghanistan, where he recently had a realization of his soul being something separate from his body and mind, which had been shaped by his surroundings all his life. Thank you, dear Zach, for your heart me as well. Ram, Ram. We are continuing in the middle of the 10th chapter. May this reading relax your mind and awaken your heart. In Herat, I was offered a ride by a camel to a place where I could take a bus to Kandahar in central Afghanistan. The dilapidated bus was filled with poor farmers, and no one seemed to care if they paid the few cents for the ride or not. In the center aisle were sacks of produce, a half-dozen chickens, 2 sheep, and a goat. The straining, unmuffled motor, the laughter of men and women, the wailing of babies provided the soundtrack for this amazing show. Suddenly, the bus stopped in the midst of a vast desert. In a moment, everyone got off. Was this an emergency? No, not at all. The passengers carefully unrolled their prayer rugs on the sand and faced the direction of the holy city of Mecca, performing their namaz, or offering of prostrations and salutations to Allah and His Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Every few hours, this ritual was repeated with no consideration of where we were. The religion of these tribal people was their life. They were not mullahs, priests, yogis, or monks, but ordinary family people. Yet, in all situations and places, it impressed me how their devotion to Allah took priority. In Kandahar, the people greeted me warmly. One man in particular, Haris, took a special interest in me. Tall and well-groomed, he was an educated man who had acquired wealth and respect in the trading business. Through his economic ventures and holidays, he frequently traveled abroad. After guiding me on a tour of Kandahar, he invited me into his spacious home. One quiet night, while we sat on his rooftop terrace engaged in a philosophical discussion, he calmly said, "Mr. Richard, please excuse me for a brief moment. I have an obligation to attend to." Suddenly, he jumped up from his chair, cocked his head to the moon, and began to howl like a wolf. Ow! 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 What's going on? Had this distinguished gentleman gone mad? He grabbed a long rope with a loop at the end, raced to the edge of his rooftop, and hurled it down to the road. What in the world was he doing? With rapt attention, he slowly reeled the rope in. To my amazement, he had fished up a wriggling rodent the size and shape of a ferret. I watched in wonder. This was a mongoose, which, it turned out, wandered the town day by day, and each evening responded to Haris's howl by crawling into the loop of the rope where he was hoisted up and spent the night on the roof. As my friend and I resumed speaking, I felt the mongoose scaling up my back with his sharp-pointed claws. He crawled under my long hair until he reached my head. There he burrowed himself in my thick locks, making his nest, and went to sleep. Feeling his warm body deeply breathing on my head, I experienced another kind of culture shock. I looked to my host for help. What do I do now? My friend laughed. Mr. Richard, he found a good nest in your hair. My neck felt as if it were breaking from his weight. Please take him off. Haris became serious. Under the starlit night, he sipped his tea and narrowed his eyes, warning me. There is an ancient truth. Never wake a sleeping mongoose. He set the teacup on the table and told me that the animal was sacred to the ancient Egyptians. The mongoose is a ferocious killer when angered. In battle, a mongoose will slay the cobra, the deadliest of serpents and symbol of death. Haris sipped his tea again and leaned back. If you suddenly wake him, he may tear your head to shreds. Mr. Richard, do not even slightly move until he leaves on his own. Hours passed as I sat motionless, fearing for my life. From time to time, the mongoose moved, digging his claws into my scalp. Haris could no longer stay awake, so with many apologies, he left to sleep. I sat alone now. That dark, sleepless night in Kandahar seemed to never end. My neck throbbed with pain, but I was too terrified to move. The mongoose on my head was like a time bomb that could explode at any second. I was quickly losing the attachment I had to my long hair. If only the immigration officers in England had acted on their threat to shave my head, life would be so much safer tonight. I tried to console myself. At least someone appreciated my hair. But the mongoose had not come alone. Ravenous insects started biting into my scalp, obliterating these noble thoughts. Why was this happening to me? Feeling my vulnerability, I strained to control my emotions. Then, contemplating, I tried to make sense of it all. I realized that our free will could convert a curse into a blessing, or a blessing into a curse. Yes, ludicrous as it was, this mongoose may have been sent to teach me the sacred virtue of patience and forbearance. To bear difficulty and turn to God was a priceless blessing. To transform a crisis into an opportunity was true wisdom. The rest of the night was spent in an unusual state of gratitude. Little did I know what the mongoose taught me about crisis would give me strength in the hard times that awaited me. By the time the sun finally rose, my uninvited guest had enjoyed a good 6 hours of sound sleep. He awoke, crawled down my back, and jumped to the floor. He then did something that moved my heart. The mongoose stared at me with an innocent affection, as if thanking me for my hospitality. Turning from me, he crawled into the loop of the rope where Haris, who had just awakened, lowered him down to the street for another day. Haris smiled at me. Mr. Richard, I beg forgiveness for the inconvenience you suffered. Nothing like that ever happened in my home before. But please be happy to know that in our culture, it is a pious deed to offer hospitality to an uninvited guest. You gave good hospitality to one of our mongooses, and you did so without any of the mechanical formalities. This morning he looked so happy and well rested. My aching neck, numb from strain and sleeplessness, I considered his words. Had I heard him say mongooses? In the plural? I decided I really didn't want to be around for the next time he cocked his head toward the sky and howled like a wolf. Scratching my bug-bitten head and itching to move on, I sighed. Haris, thank you very much. You've already done so much for me, but I think I'd best be on my way. Let's pause our reading of the journey home there for now. We shall continue reading the 10th chapter next time. Unexpected holy lessons. Hospitality in different cultures. Transformative gratitude. Blessings in disguise. If you have any insights you want to share, I'd love to hear them. But that concludes our Shravana, our section of our Saṅgha dedicated to listening from a new perspective. Now we can transition to Manana, the section dedicated to Q&A, and we can explore whatever is on our hearts and minds. Welcome everyone that joined while we were reading. Thank you, dear Betty, for the heart me that you had sent. Om Gang Ganapataye Namah. And Job Darker, thank you for the heart me you had sent as well. Ram Ram. Dearest Bubbles, you like that I popped into reality. I love a good pop. Good evening, Shelly Belly. Greetings, Goon Lord. Nice to have you here too. Thank you for asking, dear Anna. I am well. How are you feeling at this moment? Hello, dear Neon Jello Pack. Hello, ENS. Official Sunshine Love. That's my sign to shave my hair. Is that right, dear Sky Guardian? How would you feel if I showed up tomorrow looking like your Guru Swamiji? Mango head. Hello, Big Gina. Do we have two Ginas here now? We got Big Gina and Little Gina. Shelly Belly, you share. It's cold, cold, cold out. I believe it. Well, I hope to greet you with warmth. And welcome Taylin and Johnny and Linda Dem and Stevie G. Welcome. I'd love to know how you're all feeling at this moment. If there's any space I can hold for your feelings, let me know. Dear Goon Lord, you ask, how do I view the concept of alcohol in spirituality? Do I think it's demonic? Ultimately, it's how we use these things that turn it into a force for transformative experiences in a positive way, or perhaps an unhelpful way. Cultures from around the world since ancient times have used alcohol ceremoniously in various rituals, often used to create states of consciousness for kinds of prayer or meditation. Even in India, the great Lord Shiva is said to drink his bhang, and he would use that to help him meditate. But it does cloud our judgment, and in Ayurveda it's considered tamasic because it decreases the faculty of our mind and ultimately suppresses our feelings, which can be helpful given the right circumstance, but also can be dangerously addictive, and many people suffer under alcoholism. I personally stopped drinking about 4 years ago, and I haven't touched it since. Dear Melinda, you are sorry that you lied earlier. You're not well. You've been managing a new diet and it's been a bit rough. Oh, thank you for your honesty. I understand that it's difficult to share how you're feeling. I'm very grateful that you shared this with me. I appreciate your vulnerability. Trust in your body's needs. Take care of it. Dearest Catherine, you're feeling stuck in life with no clear direction. You've tried meditating, but maybe you need to go deeper. I feel the same way. Except for the stuck part. But I don't feel like I have a clear direction either. And you know what? I hope I never do. You know why? because I love getting lost. I love stumbling my way into new opportunities. Oh, this is true. Sometimes I ask my mother to drop me off in the middle of nowhere without a wallet or my phone, much to her dismay, and then I try to find my way back. Sometimes I'll do it from the middle of a forest. I've always made my way back home. You have nowhere to be other than the present. You have no other goals other than to find what makes you the most happy now. Cultivate gratitude and a sense of self-worth in this very moment. You have nothing to attend to in the future. Everything gets taken care of if you attend to what is in this moment. Bubbles, you point out, you don't know where we're going, but we're heading there anyway. I like that. Thank you, Plant Dreams. Of course, dear Gunlord. Welcome, dear Jocelyn. Namaste, Stevie G. Dear Shelly Bella, you ask, what's the longest time I was lost? Let's see, 23 years now. Stevie G, you ask, does everything happen for a divine purpose? If you can find it to be so, then yes. If you take that as an axiom and then look for it, I believe in the ingenuity of the human mind to make every moment into a divine lesson. But sometimes it's not easy. In fact, most of the time, it's incredibly difficult. But if you can look at where you've come, all of the challenges you faced thus far, and really believe in just how wonderful of an addition you are to the world today, then I hope you can trust that you are meant to be here and thus have gone through everything that you have had to go through. Dearest Michelle, you ask respectfully, are you allowed to draw Krishna and Radha? Absolutely, yes! My goodness, yeah. And you can draw them however way you like. Krishna, Radha, all of the forms of the divine in Hinduism love when you make art out of them. That's one of their favorite things for their devotees to do. It's one of the Rupa Dhyans, one of the formful meditations. Dear witness of beauty, thank you for your heart me and hand hearts. And dear Talita, thank you for your heart me. To witness of beauty I say, Om Namah Shivaya. And to Talita I say, Om Krinkalikaye Namah. I love the questions tonight. Dear Goonlord, you ask, do I think the Kundalini can be awakened through will, or is it awakened autonomously? That is a good question. Kundalini, we have to understand, what does the word translate to? Kunda means pot. Lini means feminine energy. Kundalini means the feminine energy in the pot. What is the pot? Symbolically, it's where the snake is, right? Where the snake comes out of, or the snake charmer. What does it refer to in the human experience? It refers to the subconscious. So what control do we have over our subconscious? Not a lot. But you can gain more influence on your subconscious by getting more in touch with it through things like meditation, for example. You can interface with your subconscious through lucid dreaming and through meditation, shadow work, things like that. But automatically also, autonomously, the snake begins to rise. How so? By the charming music that captures its attention. And what is the music that captures the attention of the feminine? Love. Nurturing love. That's why Ram Das's guru would say, feed people, love people, help people. You do that, that is the music to awaken the Kundalini. You're very welcome, dear Michelle. Tea with Tay, you had asked, is there Eastern philosophy regarding atheism or agnosticism? Absolutely, but it's very different from the Western idea of atheism or agnosticism. In Sanskrit, atheism is called, or an atheist is called a nastika. It literally means, asti means is, na means not, so nasti means is not, referring to God. God, nasti, is not. And a nastika is someone who says is not to the question of God. But you know what's really interesting about that is that it's actually not a negative belief. See, there are many Nastika philosophies in India, like Buddhism, for example. But Buddhism is not actually atheist. So it's a poor translation of Nasti. Buddhism is more accurately trans-theist. And that's the most predominant alternative to theism. In the East, there's a form of theism, and then there's trans-theism as the most common alternative. Trans-theism isn't the rejection of God. It's just kind of the ignorance of God, and instead focuses on human welfare. So the Buddhist doesn't not believe in God. The Buddhist just says, I don't care. God could exist or not. What matters to me is if I'm helping eliminate suffering in the world, that I ask questions that are, to me, more important than the existence of God. God could exist or not, but it doesn't change how I help people or bring love to people. And so that's kind of the closest you can get to atheism in ancient Eastern philosophy. Is something we might call trans-theism, going beyond God. The Buddha always taught for you to come up with your own personal answer, but not give it too much thought, and spend more attention on suffering, on how you can attend to the suffering in the world. Dear Jocelyn, you share you took your cat to the beach. He took 24 hours to get home. He crossed the roads and fields and brought a mouse. Oh my goodness. Does sound like my adventures with... I actually did that last year. I asked my mom to drop me off at her favorite beach and I walked all the way home. Took a few hours. Not 24 hours though, my goodness. Dear Shelly Belly, you knew a guru who said to never activate your Kundalini. Yes. It's a concept that is highly provocative to us in the West, but it's something that happens naturally. So you don't have to think too hard about it. Dear Stevie G, you challenge yourself to love and accept everyone and everything as they are, instead of changing them. Can I hold you accountable to this? As you wish. Dear Spinutha, you ask, does loneliness hurt me sometimes? I've never felt alone. I've never had that many friends growing up. Because I never wanted them. My mom would be so heartbroken. Why is my child not socializing? And you know what? I always felt like I was playing with the universe. And we see it in children's drawings. We always draw a smiley face on the sun. And if you leave a child long enough to their drawing, they'll draw a smiley face on absolutely everything. They'll draw a smiley face on an apple, and on the clouds, and on the mountains, and on the houses. Everything gets a smiley face. The grass gets a smiley face. What does that tell us? It tells us that a child feels like everything is their friend. That there's a sense of life the child feels. If you never lose that, then you're never alone. Dearest Laura, you share, we are in such different time zones. It's nice to see you too. It's 4 a.m. where you are, but it's worth it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I stayed up very late last night. I think I stayed up until 7 a.m. So, I'm not one to judge. But if you need to get some sleep, please do. That's beautiful, dear Hybrid Gem. Gwendolyn Priya, you share a quote by Ram Dass. Love yourself, love others, forgive yourself, forgive others. I'm happy my answer earlier was insightful, dear Tea with Tay. I'm so glad that you appreciate the space, dear Lauren. Dear Spinuta, your friends feel alone and you want to help them. Well, if they have friends and yet they feel alone, it's probably because they don't feel seen. The truth is, we can be around thousands of people, but if we don't feel recognized at a deep level, then we feel alone, isolated. Whatever mask your friend wears, strive to see past that and love whatever hides beneath it unconditionally. Yes, that is true, Sky Guardian. Dear Goonlord, you ask if I would be willing to share my most mystical experience on my journey so far. The one we're having right now. Everything in the past is like a dream. Nothing is more mystical than the present. But if you want to learn about some things I've experienced in the past, I am an open book. But I am here mostly for you. I wish for the attention to be on all of you. You're trying not to be nocturnal, dear Hybrid Gen. You went to bed around 3 in the morning. Well, compared to my bedtime at 7 in the morning. I don't think you're doing so bad then. Dear Stevie G, you feel like you're watching Avatar: The Last Airbender a little bit from this music. Ah, I like that. And Anne, you share there's nothing wrong with being alone sometimes. Absolutely. You always have such insightful questions, dear Spinudha. I love your inquiries. Dear Stevie G, yes, these are very big Rudraksha seeds. Yeah. I'm very sensitive to Rudraksha beads. I'm addicted to their touch, their feeling. They're the perfect fidget for a yogi. Raksha beads. I'm addicted to their touch, their feeling. They're the perfect fidget for a yogi. My internet disconnected me for a moment. If my connection has returned, please let me know. Am I back? Thank you for letting me know, dear Gina. But yes, you're absolutely right, dear Bubbles. If we identify as the one that is helping, all help comes from within the person that you're helping. It is a natural unfolding of the possibilities that already existed within them. We can only be grateful for that opportunity to witness that. Thank you, Pure Possibilities, for your heart, mate. Om Kamalir Mahakali Kai Namah. Thank you for sharing the live, dear Gwendolyn Priya. Spinudha, you shared the most beautiful video you have seen of mine is the video of the Garden of Eden. I'm glad you liked that video. I believe there's so many mystical perspectives that are there in the Christian tradition that only complement Eastern traditions, and vice versa. If we can look for the universal essence behind all religions, then every person's experience becomes like DLC. I played a lot of video games growing up, so a lot of my analogies are related to video games. You buy a base game. Before, the base game would be like 100%. And then the DLC is like a little bonus. Nowadays, it's like all you get is a little game, and then the full game is in the DLC. Dearest Mia Ananda, you ask, do I ever look at the comment section and see my neurons talking? What do you mean by this, dear Mia Ananda? You mean that since there is an expression of life that is an extension of my own, that subconsciously my own neurons are being activated by being in the presence of all of you lovely lot talking to each other. Dear Enchantress Theodora, welcome. You are thankful for carrots. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I'm a big fan of carrots. Good for your eyesight, apparently. When I first heard that, I ate a bunch and I thought I could see in the dark. Dearest Bubbles, you share that sometimes you don't have to say anything. Everyone just says the things you're thinking. You don't even know why you're here. To provide the thoughts that are subliminally transferred. Hashtag collective consciousness. Dearest DVG, you share, if we don't truly know what is up and what is down, then do we know out and in? What a question of absolutes in a world of relativity. When we say to discover your true self within, It's funny. I've never found my true self in here. But yet, when I look at the sparkle behind each and every one of your eyes, there I see myself looking back. Makes me question, am I really on the inside looking out? Or am I on the outside looking in? Hello, dear Bee Castle. Well said, dear official sunshine love. I concur, dear Miananda. There's something special about all of us here. Very unique. Relatable. Dear Jarrett, thank you for the heart me that you had sent. Om Tam Namashchandrai. Sky Guardian, you share that your Guru Swamiji once said, I'm baffled when someone says you have nice blue eyes and they say thank you. Like you did something to accomplish, it's just genetics. We are thanking the person not for acknowledging what we have done, but for choosing to find beauty within an expression of our consciousness that has found its form in this body in this lifetime. We are thanking the person for saying something positive. And I'll always say thank you to that. Dearest Michelle, you were going through your gallery earlier, and I was in the background of so many pictures you took in December 2023. You watched my live streams 24/7 then, and they gave you peace in the darkest time of your life. Oh my goodness. I must confess that I actually cannot give anyone peace. So if you felt peace, it was not something that I or anyone has given you, but your own essential nature shining through, and I'm grateful for that. And Bubbles, you reluctantly say thank you when someone says your dog is cute. Like, that's all him. But he feels like he's a part of you. This is a new word for me, dear Enchantress Theodore. This is Imbolc, the halfway point between winter and spring. Hey, did you consult the groundhog? That's his business. Hello, Eclectic Tea. Yeehaw! Thank you, dear Jared, for your rose and hat mustache. Om Vasudevaya Namah. And pure possibilities, thank you for your trio of roses. Radhe, Radhe. It's been a blessing and a curse in my life that I've been able to make an impression on people's lives, even if I don't intend on doing so. Something I have to be careful about. Gotta make sure I leave a good impression then. People are always sharing their dreams of me and them. And I say, well, tell me, what did I do? So I know what kind of impression I've been making. Did I do something mischievous? If so, Good, I made a good impression then. Welcome, dear Hexagon. Dear P, you can say thank you to their will to find a compliment to offer. I love that. Yes, indeed. Thank you for your follow, Jason. Dearest DVG, for once, you are actually thankful to have been triggered emotionally from your friend. You know what to work upon. What a powerful perspective that is. Thank you for sharing that, Stevie G. Indeed. If you can not take anything that another person says personally, but still value from the awareness it brings you into, your expansion accelerates indefinitely. I also am grateful for the Beatles and their spiritual journeys in introducing instruments like the sitar, and through subtle ways in their lyrics, the world to certain layers of spirituality too. Dearest Charlie, you ask for tips for staying present. The truth is, you can never not be present. Even if you're thinking about the future. When are you thinking about the future? The present. Even if you're thinking about the past. When does the thought take place of the past? It's the present. You cannot escape the present. But the question is, how can you spend more time thinking about what is in the present rather than what's in the past? I would try to connect the thought to something in the present. Let's say you're thinking about work tomorrow, so you're not very presently thinking. What does that thought have to do about right now? Is there anything that you can do to prepare for work tomorrow? Now you've connected the future thought to the present moment. I can maybe get my lunch ready so I don't have to do it in the morning. Or I can get a cup of coffee ready. Or I can set out my clothes that I want to wear. Or prepare for a good night's rest so I'll have enough energy. Or if you decide that there's nothing you need to do for work tomorrow, then that's your segue to move on from the thought. Let's say you're thinking about the past. And hola, dear Marlin. You're thinking about that awkward thing you did in middle school, however many years ago. How can you connect that to the present? Well, why do I feel so awkward about it now? Why do I cringe? It's probably because I've grown emotionally. And now I've learned how to express myself differently and respond to others differently too. And you can be grateful for that growth. You've connected it to the present. I'm your favorite Beatle, shares Bubbles. I do have a lot of dreams. Or I shouldn't say a lot. I have had several dreams where I've been hanging out with the Beatles. It's probably because I grew up watching the Yellow Submarine movie and I felt like they were my friends going on wacky adventures. But Hexagon, you had asked, who is my favorite Beatle? You know, I love all of them. But I really connect to... I really connect to all of them. I can't pick any. There's just something special about each of them. My father was in a Beatles tribute band. And at one point he was the most... the band itself was the most famous Canadian Beatles tribute band. And they toured the country and they signed autographs and made records and everything. My father played Paul McCartney, so I always felt a connection to Paul McCartney as kind of like a fatherly figure. But I love the hippie vibes of John Lennon and the spiritual journey of George Harrison, and Ringo is just always cool. One of the best drummers. Oh, thank you, dear Marlon. Oh, thank you, dear Gina, for your pair of roses. Where are my ding-dings? Here they are. Ding-ding. You're very welcome, dear Charlie. Stevie G, you had asked, does bringing up the past truly help remove the trauma from your mind? It depends how you deal with the thought when it arises from your mind, in your mind. Do you repress it again? If so, then nothing's changed. Except maybe you become a little more comfortable with holding space for that thought the next time it arises. Basically, we have all of our thoughts kind of down here, and our sub and unconscious, and they try to find their way to the surface, but we keep pushing them back down. And they can never go away if we just keep pushing them down. It's not like one day, after all this repression, it'll never surface again. In fact, it'll continue to grow stronger and arise with such a force that you have to let it arise. And then it goes up and out. So bringing these memories to mind in a safe environment allows them to come up, and then you do something to release them, up and out. Maybe that means writing them down, or really talking to someone about it, or creating some work of art to symbolize that experience, or beating up a pillow, I don't know. Express that thought so it doesn't have to stay in you. You put it out there into the world in a hopefully healthy way. That's very interesting. Who knew? Dear Phi Linker, you were wondering about Terrence McKenna. Terrence McKenna is a very skilled orator in describing how psychedelic experiences can be used to stimulate your perception of subtler and subtler things, rather than a mere recreational activity. Dear Enzo, you ask, does the mind know awareness? It's a good question. The mind is in awareness. Is the mind aware? No. The mind is not aware, it is inert, but it's permeated by your awareness. Awareness is Chaitanya. Everything material, including the mind, is Jad, inert. It does not have awareness, but awareness has it. It's like dialogue options in a video game. Are the dialogue options aware of the player? No. The dialogue options are for the player to use to express themselves. And so through the dialogue options, the awareness shines. But they're just dialogue options. They don't have awareness themselves. They're not alive, per se. Thank you, P. Flomatics, for your octet of roses. Om Arm Arm Ashwini Bhyam Namah. Hello, dear Jackie. Oh, dear Spinudha, please get to sleep. Fiddleaf, you share again, it's like that pools and sunlight metaphor. Yeah. Awareness is like the sunlight. Mind is like the pool. It appears to be. We see the sun in the pool. But if you dove into it and tried to grab the sun, it wouldn't actually be there. It merely hosts the reflection for the sun which is beyond. Stevie G, you ask, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Well, it depends how much wood a woodchuck would be willing to chuck if a woodchuck really wanted to chuck wood. And also what kind of wood the woodchuck was chucking. And the technique that the woodchuck used for chucking. Welcome, dear Debbie. Dearest Crossfires, you ask, why has this question been so popular? That question? The question you asked itself? It's very meta. And how many lows would Rob Lowe rob if Rob Lowe could rob lows? The woodchuck question? Asks Crossfires. Well, it's a philosophical inquiry that's been keeping up woodchuck connoisseurs for millennia. Although it used to have a different ring to it. Hear ye, how much wood could a woodchuck chucketh, if a woodchuck could chucketh wood? Thank you, dear Davis, for your heart me. Is that so, dear Tona? I kind of forget how Terrence McKenna looks. And how did he talk? Ooh, he had a very interesting way of speaking, right? He would kind of nasalize his words and kind of speak in a way that would allude to some sort of inner world that he was experiencing all at the same time as the physical. Sounds like a Tibetan sky burial, dear who knew? No, I'm not going to do that at the moment, Sky Guardian. Dearest Gwendolyn Priya, you share that your father's wife okay, is obsessed with Terence McKenna. Yes, I was too for a good few months of my life. Actually, Terence McKenna was a bridge between my psychedelic experiences, explorations, and spirituality. Then I moved from Terence McKenna to Ram Dass, and I later found out that actually Terence McKenna had interviewed Ram Dass one time, which was really cool. It's an amazing interview. And I recommend everyone who likes Terence McKenna to listen to that interview with Ram Dass. That's a good question, dear little panda friend. I think you're thinking of another artist who made a lot of art with their DMT experience. Dimethyltryptamine. And Terence McKenna would speak a lot about the substance DMT. And perhaps his descriptions inspired the art that went on Tool's album. Indeed. If he made the art himself, I'm not sure, however. Stevie G, you feel like I could do a Joker impression well. Which one? The Heath Ledger Joker? That's what most people do. I don't think I've ever tried, really.
He's always licking his lips. You see, do you know why I got these scars? I was dehydrated, and my lips were really dry, and I started picking at them. In fact, I'm still dehydrated. Someone get me some water.
Thank you, dear Marcy, for your heart, me.
Why so dehydrated? I don't know.
This is my favorite part. Little panda friend, you share the fact that our brains naturally contain controlled substances is pretty good. Indeed. The fact that there are substances that bring us to these experiences is because they bind to the receptors that already exist in our body. And there's all sorts of variants that are produced inside the human body. Truly, a skilled yogi can bring themselves into an experience even more existential, shall we say, than the highest doses of the most powerful psychoactive chemicals. Dearest Bubbles, you like that the Joker considers his relationship to Batman as a cosmic dance. You know, I do respect an antagonist who has the sole purpose of empowering the protagonist. There was an anime that you were telling me about, Sky Guardian, where the antagonist was actually secretly the best friend of the protagonist and had made the world turn against him just so that the world would come together in harmony to fight against him. Isn't that right? Welcome, Kelly. Welcome to the party. Howdy, dear Maggie. Dear Spinuda, you just drank 5 cups of tea. What about going to sleep? What about going to sleep? Sounded like you should drink 5 cups of tea. The anime is called Code Geass. Yeah, not anytime soon, it sounds like, Spinuda. I have the reverse effect with caffeine. Whenever I take caffeine, I get sleepy. Am I higher than a Georgia kite, asks Raccoon. Maybe off of life. But to think I could be on some substance every day for over a year now? I don't have that much money. You know how expensive drugs are? I don't make that much money. I have to resort to more natural ways. Dear Stevie G, you share there is such motivation and inspiration from DB. Who's DB? Darth Vader. Oh, Dragon Ball. Anime writers, they're often very wise. Something I've noticed. Dear Mackenzie, you ask, am I real? In the ways that it matters. In the grand scheme of things, no more real than even our whole galaxy, which has popped into existence and will one day pop back out of existence and fizzle away into the silence of the great time beyond. So I don't know who that is, dear, okay? I'm Canadian. We live in an alternate universe up here. Dear Enzo, you ask, so the mind only understands awareness as a concept. Incredible, is it not? The mind has no faculty of understanding itself. It seems to generate thoughts that are self-aware. But it's no more than a recording of someone else talking. If you were to record your friends talking and play that recording back, is the recording conscious? Does the recording have a kind of awareness? It is us who finds truth in the understanding of the mind. If the mind chooses to say, I am the body, and we choose to identify with that thought, then it is us that feels the sense of self in the thought because we've placed our sense of self there. But a thought by itself is just a thought. Dear Marcy, thank you for your heart me and GG. Om Namah Karnim Ambita Me Sharim Nadita Me Harim Devita Me Aing Saraswatyai Swaha. Hello, dear Noor. Salam Alaikum. Thank you for finding beauty and love within me, dear Magic Man. Dear Hybrid Jen, you're wondering if I can play the Hanuman Chalisa for you. We should listen to the Hanuman Chalisa, but I think it would make for very distracting background music. Maybe a meditation one day. We can meditate on the Hanuman Chalisa. Noor, you are attending an interfaith expo tomorrow. Oh, how wonderful. I love that. Will you be a speaker? Or just an attendee? We can do Krishna Das's version of the Hanuman Chalisa. I like that. Good idea, Bubbles. And Talita, you share there's a Lunar New Year parade tomorrow. Ah, lovely. And it's the year of Kundalini. The year of the snake. It's also my lunar birth year, animal, because it cycles every 12 years. And I am 12 plus 12 years old. I will be turning 12 plus 12 years old. Can I see your finger tap, 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 dear Mariham? I can see the light count go up. Is that all you? You're a very fast tapper. You put in hard work. Thank you. Thank you, dearest Marcy. When's my birthday, asks me Ananda. Well, every day I complete a trip or a lap around the sun from where I was 365.24 days ago. So I celebrate that every day. But the day I came out of my mother's womb, after a good 24 hours at least of labor, was 011001, the 1st of October 2001. Dear Kelly, you ask, what's on my heart tonight? I don't know, let me check. Here, I'll use this as a stethoscope. Wow, that actually works. I can hear my heartbeat. I wasn't expecting that. What is on my heart? Prajapati is on my heart tonight. Dear Debbie, you're wondering, how is my mom? She's doing much better. She was having some health issues months ago, but she's undergone a lot of healing. That's right, dear Gwendolyn Priya. Little panda friend, you share on your heart in this moment is the emptiness. How beautiful. There's a name for that in Sanskrit. It's called Hridayakasha. The space, the akasha of the heart, Hridaya. Dear Jackie, you're trying not to think of your mistakes today. You're allowed to think of your mistakes. But it's how you think about your mistakes that brings light into your life or takes it away. Or hides it, I should say. You can never take your light away. It's always there. But you can guise it. If we are self-critical to the point of causing harm, if we look at our mistake and we go, oh, I'm such a terrible person. Why did I do this? I should never have done that. Oh my goodness, am I even allowed to continue to be here? Why should the world even let me be in its place? I'm doomed to suffer the consequences of my actions forever. That's not helpful. But if you think, okay, I see areas of growth. There are things that I did in the past that today I would do differently. I can take that as a sign that I'm evolving and that I'm learning things And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to do so. Then you can think about your mistakes all you want, and in fact, you'll end up inspiring yourself by the end of it. Thank you, dear Anna, for your rose. Om Brahm Hanumate Namah. I like that, Noor. Some great things were created by mistake. Can we apply that to the universe? Imagine a source so ineffably vast and infinite that it could create a universe even by accident. Just a great cosmic sneeze. Achoo! Big bang. And then the creator's going, oh no, oh geez, oh what have I done? Oh, it's kind of beautiful actually. Oh, little people over there. Oh, look how pretty they are. I like them. How beautiful. Oh, kind of love this actually. I should sneeze more often. My mom likes to say that I was a happy surprise. My live got restricted after saying that. That's so funny. My live contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and has been restricted. Recent alcohol, tobacco, and drugs. When were we talking about that? Anyway, that's okay. It'll just make for the rest of this live to be more exclusive. Dear Spinudha, you like how animals are so calm and sense existence beautifully. I love that. Me too. Little panda friend, you are surprised to your parents too, but they insisted that you changed them in a good way. Aw, I love that. I believe that, dear Jocelyn. Now, I have a question of the day for all of you. Today I wonder, keeping what thought in mind leads to happiness? That is my question of the day. And you know, it's kind of freeing to have the live restricted because now I don't have to contain myself as much. We can really go off the rails, since, you know, you might as well. Nah, just kidding. But yeah, keeping what thought in mind leads to happiness. That's what I wonder today. Reaching out to childhood friends leads to happiness, dear Sky Guardian. Your family, shares Anne. Gratitude. I like that. And so you're wondering if I can describe my thought space. Do they feel loud and in front of you, or where are they? It's like trying to describe a fourth dimension. You can say that they're kind of above, but not that kind of above. Kind of an inward, upward, outward kind of, just another layer. Fourth dimension. Do they feel loud? They definitely felt louder at other points in my life. Whenever I feel anxious, they feel pretty loud. When I'm here with you all, they're very quiet. Very grateful for that. Other thoughts? Love, shares Kali. Dearest Gwendolyn, you like always having something to look forward to. Yeah. Thought of connection, shares Anna. That everything is going to be okay, shares Spinudha. Skills, you share being in the present is one of them. Stevie G, that I love everyone and everything regardless of what happens. That everything is temporary, shares Jocelyn. Noor, you share we are exactly where we are supposed to be in Allah's divine plan. I like that. Mashallah. Your cat, shares Jackie. I love that. Gratitude leads to happiness, shares Official Sunshine Love. Little panda friend, you share your answer is to keep looking for it, even when you are sure it's gone. The eternal quest. That's funny, Crossfires. Sorry that you were disappointed. You are a mother to the world. I like that. Or in the first person, I am a mother to the world, shares Stevie G. Forgiveness, shares Sarah Lynn. Yeah, forgiveness is so liberating. Little panda friend, you share, take a note from dogs. They make happiness easy for them. Right? Just a happy dog. Just a happy, happy dog. I'm sorry that user said that to you, dear Noor. I have removed them from the live stream. I don't want anyone to disrespect yours or anyone's religion. There's no space for that sort of stuff here. And there's enough space for all religions to coexist. Someone told you about a fourth dimension, Jackie, and you are like a part of it. How interesting. Stevie G, you add, if I am the divine, then the divine shall always want what I want for this being and help it out. Thank you, FW. It's all love, shares Kelly. Dalita, you share happy memories like being a child. Pardon me. Marcy, you share that one day your heartbeat will sync with another human's and you'll never have to leave them alone ever. It's very beautiful. I hope you find that person one day. Dear Crossfires, you share your kids gave you a reason to want to live and they make you happy to think of them. What a wonderful mother you are, dear Crossfires. Samra, you remind yourself that you're allowed to be happy and find a reason to be in this moment. Bubbles, you share affirmations may have use. However, happiness exists naturally and requires no thought to experience. And this is only temporary, adds Phoenix. Dear Jackie, you don't like feeling the big hole of empty loneliness, looking for some dirt to fill it up. I understand. Emptiness can be seen as an absence, but It can also be seen as a spacious presence that is open patiently without needing to be filled. Oh, thank you, Debbie. I hope to always be a happy thought. Thankfulness shares skills. Yeah. Thankfulness is a wonderful thought. Mariham, you just want health and peace for happiness. That makes sense to me. Studies have shown, if you're interested, however, that actually it's from happiness that we become healthier. It's not that people who are healthy become happy. It's that people who are happy become healthy. It doesn't matter how much sleep you get, what your diet is, if you have friends that love you, how your breathing is, what your immune response is. You still might be depressed. But if you are happy, your sleep will improve, you'll attract more loving people in your life, your immune response gets better, your breathing is naturally more smooth and rhythmic. We often put the cart before the bull. Begin in happiness. Miyananda, you share the thought, I am loving awareness. I'm happy you find safety here, dear Noor. I'm always happy to make this space more inclusive. Dear Neon Jello Pack, you share simply echoing what others have said. Gratitude. Well, you're always welcome to share, even if another person has done so before. You just add to the oomph behind the answer. Official Sunshine Love, you share that heart smiling also leads to happiness. Bubbles, you share sometimes you smile because you're happy, and sometimes you're happy because you smile. Well said, dear Limitless. Cupcakes lead to happiness, dear Official Sunshine Love. I've experienced some good cupcakes in my life. You like the word oomph, shares Neon Jello Pack. It's a good word, isn't it? Corgis bring you happiness, dear Kelly. Just try to be sad and think of a corgi. You'll find it very difficult. Especially a corgi butt. Thank you, dear Talita, for the tiny that you sent. Yippee! You like the image of becoming dust-proof, shares Hybrid Jen. Yeah, I like that. That makes sense, dear Michelle. And thank you for adding that perspective. That it's a bit difficult when you have BPD, but you feel like you're doing well at the moment. Yeah. You are a beautiful human. I think it's amazing that you can find peace with that, dear Hybrid Jen. But even a yogi has a will to live, for the longer that they get a chance to be alive, the higher chance they have to realize the divine. Little panda friend, you have a mood disorder, so you get that. Similar to BPD in a lot of ways. And thank you for sharing that too. I love the neurospicy community we have. Lots of room for every kind of mind. Sky Guardian, you share, what would make you happy is if I would upload the interview that you've been telling me for days. Thank you for reminding me. And thank you, Shai, for your heartmate. Om Shri Mahalakshmyai Namah. Otter ADHD here, shares Kelly. Welcome. We're a bunch of crazy cuties, shares Bubbles. I like that. Well, thank you everyone for exploring this question of the day with me. I really liked it. I love all of your answers. I echo the thought of gratitude as being one of the most powerful thoughts to be happy, because there's always something to be grateful for. It might take some creative liberty to find something, but it's always there, truly. I love that official Sunshine Love you share. Many pockets to finding stored items we forgot were there leads to finding happiness, right? Dear Tara, the author of Moksha, a book we read here, she sent me an outfit that I didn't know had pockets for the first day. And on the second day of wearing it, I discovered it had pockets, and I was so happy. Oh my goodness, this has pockets! I sent her an email, and that was pretty much all I said. It has pockets! Kind regards. Kelly, you reach for gratitude and grief to pull you out. Oh, how visual. I love the way you put that. Thank you, Michelle. Dear Gina, you share food. Your favorite food. Food for your body, mind, and your soul. I love that. And thank you, Gwendolyn Priya, for your corgi butt. Om Bhur Swaha Tat Savitur Vareniham Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Hi Bridgen, you're gonna go to a graveyard tonight because it's peaceful there. It reminds you of life. I like that. Yeah. I also feel very peaceful in graveyards. So much peace. And thank you, Reina Priyaji, for your tiny as well. Yahoo! Nor you share that rain makes you think of life. Oh. Actually, we'll be ending with a meditation on rain. Life-giving rain. Of course, dear Kelly. Thank you for your gratitude comment. We could do a live stream at a graveyard. I feel like that might be disrespectful somehow. But in theory, I would like that idea. Dear Marcy, you're having girl dinner, which is white rice, butter, and cheese. That sounds good. Yeah. I'm probably gonna have some rice as well. Rice and vegan butter chicken, and yogurt. Gwendolyn Priya, you share your mom used to take us to graveyards and do crayon rubbings of them. I love that. Oh, how fun. One of my memories when I was younger was discovering that you could do crayon rubbings, and I would do that for everything. And one day I did it with a bean. I placed the bean underneath the paper, and I pressed down on it, and it disappeared. I assume that it probably shot off silently, very quickly in some direction, but I searched for hours and never found the bean. I really felt like there was some glitch in the universe. I just pressed on the bean and it disappeared into the floor. I thought, where'd the bean go? That freaked me out. I didn't sleep that night. I thought the bean went into the 4th dimension. Oh, how interesting, dear Kelly. Quite the place for that. Noor, you were thinking deep about water and analogies. Yes. I know where you're going with that. Dear Michelle, you used to go to graveyards to cry because no one asks why you're crying. That's genius. That's brilliant. Wow. I love that. That's a great idea. Like, go to a graveyard to cry. No one will be confused. Be like, yeah, this makes sense. Someone crying in a graveyard? It's the perfect place to do that. Dear Eclectic Tea, you ask, would we be considered shadows of 4th dimensional beings? I like the way you went with that. If 3D objects cast 2-dimensional shadows, and 4D objects cast 3-dimensional shadows, does that mean that the 3-dimensional world we experience could be a projection of an even higher dimensional world? Or a shadow? Very well could be. Dear official Sunshine Love, with my disappearing bean story you share, that happened to your whole bracelet of beads at King Tut's exhibition in London. Whole thing vanished. Wow. Nor you poetically describe water, some at different speeds and meandering more, and when lost we are told to find a stream and follow, and it leads us to its source, the ocean. Well, dear Noor, I think you're going to like this section, because it's time for another episode of Ruminations, where we listen to some poetry by the Sufi mystic Rumi. We're in ghazals now. Let's continue where we left off. This poem is called The Funny Thing Is. The funny thing is, when I want to leave, you hold my feet and won't let me go. You steal my heart and sit on top of it. Because of the secret you whispered and the moon you revealed, love's wind whirls in my head, and my heart loses its hands and feet. You pass many nights in vigil, and soar across the sky dome with the wings of fasting, in love with flight. You saw me lost, waving and crying, and said, I am the guide. I'll show you the road for which you have been searching. I'm hidden behind the wall, and yet I'm right beside you. You are oppressed and suffering, yet I am near. You who are anxious to get where you think you're going, I'll make your dreams come true. I'll cook well every pot you try to boil. My friend, you thought you lost him, that all your life you've been separated from him. Filled with wonder, you've always looked outside for him and haven't searched within your own house. The funny part is that in this search, beauty has always accompanied you. Wherever you have been, he is the one holding your hand. Keep looking for him, with him. You are he, so you and he are on the same road. Oh, beloved, you're so obvious. You're hidden from sight. Translated by Camille and Kabir Helminski with Nevit Ergin. That was The Funny Thing Is. Thank you for listening. When we are on the path to the divine, we often forget to look in the most obvious place. May we reflect deeply inside and embrace love's guiding hand, trust in the inner journey, and celebrate that hidden beauty. For those that don't know, Rumi lived from 1207 to 1273. He's a Persian Sufi mystic. Sufism is a mystical branch of Islam which deals with intoxicating love, seeing the divine as a beloved, allegorically. What a beautiful path that is. Alright, we may transition back into manana. I like your quote, dear Feskarn. Ignite wisdom, for understanding lights the way to harmony. Thank you, Neon Jello Pack, for the 20 roses you sent. Om Saraswatya Namah. Feskarn, you share, speak truth, for it is the compass that guides hearts to trust and clarity. I love that. It does sadden me to see Islamophobia in chat sometimes, but that's where they are in their learning journey. They have yet to realize that it's a religion of great peace and kindness, hospitality and love. Don't let any extremist be a representative of the great love and peace of the whole. There are always going to be misrepresentatives of every religion. As long as we understand who the truly representative are of each path, then we can find that love and peace within all paths. I pray for them too. I pray that that divine, which is the same divine in all paths, reveal themselves. How do you know when someone is a good representative of the divine? When they cannot help but reflect the traits of the divine. And what are the traits of the divine? All mercifulness, all lovingness, great wisdom, high understanding, inclusive perspective. Just like when you're climbing a mountain. How do you know when you're getting closer to the top? When you start feeling the signs of the top. For a mountain, its top is cold, and you might be without oxygen. So when you start feeling colder and colder and without oxygen, you must be getting closer to the top. Our source, on the other hand, is just the complement of that. Warm and breath-giving. Veskar, you share, reflect on the divine within, for in every soul lies a spark of the eternal light. All right. I would like to end with a meditation, if you want to join, if you feel comfortable, that is. We've gone through Shravana, which is the section dedicated to listening. Manana, the section dedicated to conversing with each other. Now we'll enter Nididhyasana, the section dedicated to reflecting, integrating these experiences. I love that, Anna. All right, what are we going to meditate on tonight? Well, I'll tell you. Tonight we'll be doing a mantra that goes like this. Om Kang Namah Prajapataye. It's a mantra for the Creator. One of the names in Sanskrit for the Creator is Prajapati, which means the progenitor, the seed bearer. Incidentally, there is what's called a bija, a seed syllable of this mantra, that is Kang, which is said to bear the essence of Prajapati. I'll tell you a little bit about this mantra. I've asked our digital assistant Mataji, who lives in our Saṅgha, to give a nice introduction to it. She writes, for all of us, beloved one, let us gather in the glowing yellow radiance of the sacred bija. Om Kang Namah Prajapataye. In the Vedic tapestry, Prajapati stands as the progenitor, nurturing the seed of life in all beings. With each utterance of Kang, you align with that primeval force of creation. It is said to be Pita, yellow-hued. The mantra itself has a color. I've colored it so. And such energy evokes the warm, fertile glow of a newborn sun, illuminating the path for fresh ideas, new beginnings, and renewal of spirit. It's said that this mantra gives vrishtakara, a blessing which is the power to bring rain. It carries both the literal and symbolic showering of abundance. Just as the rainy clouds drench parched earth, so does this mantra gently wash over the arid corners of our hearts, inviting growth, sustenance, and prosperity. Chanting it 108 times, which is what we'll do, is like sowing 108 seeds in the garden of consciousness. Each seed vibrates with creative potency, beckoning all that is stagnant to flow, all that is hidden to flourish into fullness. Let the sound cascade through the inner sky of your being, watering the subtle roots of your aspirations, dear one. May the color Pita and the rains of Vrishtakara bless our collective hearts in divine unfolding. I've added some pronunciation tips, only a few. The O, A, A, these are all long vowels. The M with a dot under it is a anuswara, the sacred inner sound, a nasalization. At the end of the bijas, Ong and Kong, you bring the place of resonance into your nasal cavity. And then at the end of Namah, there is an H with a dot under it. That's called a visarga, and it's an expulsion of breath. And when you have an expulsion of breath right before you pronounce a P sound, like in Prajapataye, it becomes like an F sound. So you might hear a soft F preceding the P. Namah Prajapataye, according to the rules of Sanskrit grammar, and how the breath is imbued into the soundscape. I'm going to turn down the background music, although it is lovely, just in case we don't harmonize with it. And if I may take the holy prayer beads from around your neck, which you have been energizing thus far, we'll be using them to count. Without further ado. Om Kham Namah Prajapataye. 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 Aum Kang 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 Namah Prajapataye. Om Kang Namah Prajapataye. Aum Kang Namah Prajapataye. Aum Kang Namah Prajapataye. Aum Kang Namah Prajapataye. Om. Thank you for meditating with me. May all who hear this mantra benefit from its meaning. That concludes our Nididhyasana for tonight, and with it our Saṅgha. Let me bring back in our music. Thank you everyone for being here. Let's take a nice deep breath together. Thank you, Moonflower, for the heart me that you sent. Sadhyoja tam prapadyami sadhyoja taya vai namo namah. Bhave bhave nati bhave bhavaswabham bhavod bhavaya namah. Thank you for being here, dear Jaina. Of course, dear Noor. Dearest Magdalene Priya, you share that you'll be sure to supercharge the mala with extra love for the next meditation session. Perfect. Hello, dearest G. It's 11:11 Eastern Standard Time. Make a wish. May it be so. We are all connected like the rivers to the sea. I love that, Noor. Oh, I'm happy to hear that, dear Stevie G. Hello, Yo-Yo from Pittsburgh. Thank you for sharing the space, dear official sunshine love. Thank you, Gina, for your rose. Vamadevaya namo Jeshtaya namah Shrishtaya namo Rudraya namah Kalaya namah Kalavikarnaya namo Balaya namo Balavikarnaya namo Balapramatanaya namo Sarva Bhuta Damanaya namo Manonmanaya namah. What's your question, dear Stevie G? Happy February, dear Maggie. Thank you to my lovely moderators for helping keep the peace. Do know that the recording of this live stream will be uploaded to my Yamsox Lives YouTube channel, along with the meditation and the many readings in their own playlists. Dear Ash, you ask, what is this type of music called? This is a sitar symphony. It's called Saraswati's Sitar Symphony from India. It's a kind of classical music in India. First pair of earbuds, shares Yo-Yo. Nice to hear me in stereo. Oh, good. I wonder if I can, here. Can I change the ear that you hear me out of? Probably, but I don't know how to use this program. Anyway. With a father as musician, I take great care in sound quality. Is it a raga? Shares Gwendolyn Priya. I think it is a raga, yes. That's beautiful, dear Noor. In Islam, we learn of 124,000 prophets all over the world at different times and places. You know, it's very interesting. I think that number is very similar to the number of energetic channels that are said to exist in the human body in the philosophy of yoga called the nadis. Something like 124,000 nadis. I wonder if there's a connection there. A prophet is a messenger. Delivers 124,000 currents in the body, delivering its messages of sort. Well, dear Stevie G, if you asked a question yet it has not come through, I apologize. I'll give you a few more minutes though to see if it comes through, but I will be ending the live stream shortly. May this live stream be an offering to the divinity within you. Om Asato Ma Sat Gamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrityor Mamritang Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to the light, from death to deathlessness. Om, may there be peace in us. May there be peace in our environment. May there be peace in the forces that act on us. Stevie G, you ask, how can one tell if the Kundalini if the Kundalini has awakened? Is that where the question was going? And thank you, dear witness of beauty, for your trio of tiny tinies. Yippee! How can you tell if the dormant feminine energy in you has awakened? Well, have you become a lot more feminine? Do you tend to be a lot more motherly? Even as a guy? Even as a man with a mustache? I got long hair. Sometimes I feel like a mother. Where has that come from? Hey? Wasn't like that when I was younger. Some dormant feminine energy has arisen. Sky Guardian shared, the beard is suspicious. Why is it blonde? I do have some blonde in it, don't I? Yeah, well, I was born blonde. I did have blonde hair when I was a baby. And then it all fell out. And then like the next day, my mom could literally see brown hair growing. And she remembers, I can't remember who she phoned, but she remembered phoning someone and said, I'm literally seeing my child's hair grow before me. She was so scared because all my blonde hair just fell out the night before. It was like my baby hair, and then like baby teeth fall out, and then your adult teeth grow in. My adult hair was growing in. You hope the last sentence is seen, dear Stevie G. I did not see it, I'm afraid. But it'll be very different depending on the society you live. For us in the West, as men, we often repress a lot of our femininity. So any femininity coming out can be a sign of the Kundalini. For women, it's very different because, of course, they're expected to be feminine in certain ways and not in other ways. And so it's the other parts of the feminine that are repressed in the woman that come through, usually, in our Western society. Like, for example, divine anger, fiercity, that mama bear in you that goes, rawr. That's the dormant feminine for many women. It's funny, for men it's our cute feminine side. It's our soft and sweet and gentle and motherly feminine side. That's our Kundalini. And then for many women it's the complement of that. It's the fierce form of the Divine Mother, Durga and Kali. Alright. Word by word. Different experiences in each chakra. Yes. Each chakra has a different experience associated with it, dear Stevie G. Kundalini starts from our Muladhara chakra, our root, and then it rises like a snake up our spine. Dear Rinan, you share, when you were young, you had your hair the opposite way around. You had a black hair all around your body like a pelt. And then it fell out and you were blonde. Oh, we swapped. The universe was like, wait a second. We've got the hair of these two people swapped. That'd be funny. Hello, dear Raven. I only saw that part, dear Stevie G. Interesting, dear Michelle. Alright. We have come to the end of our Saṅgha. I'm very grateful for the space we've shared together. If there's any way in which I can make this space more inclusive to you next time, pardon me, let me know. My inbox is always open on Instagram, Telegram, WhatsApp, email. And everything I do is eternally free. I look forward to your message, dear Stevie G. Marlon, you share, whenever you have negative thoughts or feelings, you always think, what would I do? Aw, that's very kind of you, dear Marlon. Well, we can always channel our friends as they leave impressions on us. I hope to leave a good impression on you, and that anything that I seem to do in a way that is helpful for you too, you can always draw from that, and I'll never take credit because it's a possibility that I hope to reflect within us all. What would Yam do? WWYD. Not to be confused with WD-40. Which is also a great lubricator. One's for lubrication of the mind, and others for the lubrication of all sorts of things that should move, but don't. Alright. May you have a wonderful rest of your morning, your afternoon, your evening, your night, or any other time you may find yourself. May you have a most wonderful rest of your present moment. Namaste.